So future me here, we've grinded out the 10 power draw required to be able to use a legendary bow. We're actually at 11 now. And we've pretty much maxed out relations with Leanna. She did end up giving us her bow. Unfortunately though, she has decided to put up a last stand at Bulgan. She will not follow us out of the town. And it looks like there's only 3 Jaharan lords here sieging it, but the rest of the army was sieging it. They just went off to raid this village, and I think they're going to be coming back momentarily. And right now would be a perfect time to escape, but Leanna needs to attend her own business. Maybe she needs to put on her makeup, I don't know. Though we could leave the town right now and we could just leave Leanna to get captured by these guys. Anytime we get an elite troop, we've given it to her, and we'd lose all those elite troops. We just lose too much progress, I think. And so I think this is where we're going to make our final stand. Before we play out what's probably going to be the downfall of this run, I want to walk you guys through my, I think it was like 6 hours of grinding I did today. At the very end of yesterday's episode, we captured Selenseer Castle, and we found out giving it over to Leanna would give us 5 relation with her. Not only that, after capturing a castle, there's a garrison that's put there, and there's some really nice troops that we can jack. And so for about the next 6 hours, we play a cat and mouse game with Jahara. We keep capturing their castles, they keep retaking them. Every time we do capture a new castle though, Jahara does not leave that big of a garrison to defend it. The first time retaking Aeolus Castle, they did have 137 units defending it. That was actually quite a lot. At this point, we weren't fully juiced out yet, so I do kind of play it slow, and we use a strategy that I used in the previous video, and the enemy kind of slowly trickles their troops out at us. It's a really easy castle to take. And after we took Aeolus Castle, for some reason we got 13 relation with Leanna this time. I think it's because she did not have any castles at this time. Not only that, our character has 14 looting, so every time we capture a castle, the enemies drop a ton of loot, and yeah, we get some really nice troops from their garrison, some really high tier archers, and some nice ironclad tanky melee units that have throwing weapons. We end up not being able to retake Novart Castle, as that is a siege tower, and it would take 90 hours to build a siege tower, so we head over to Huradan Castle, which does have 354 units, 173 prisoners, and Leanna's able to take most of those, and we're able to sell those later. This castle's layout is a really easy and straightforward layout to attack. There's nothing really special about it. We just keep our archers back, let them do their job, and they do end up running out of arrows, so we are forced to re-siege it, but we did take out a good chunk of them. They only have 197 left, so on this attempt we do end up taking the castle. And like, yeah, if you're looking at the kill feed, it's just a joke. We're not losing any troops at all. We just proceed with the cat and mouse game. I think after this they retook Aeolus Castle, so we retake that, and we just kind of rinse and repeat that a few times, building up our strength until eventually we have enough troops to where we can attack Bulgan. This is one of Jahara's towns, and though there are some better troops here, like there's 50 storm archers, those are some really decent archers, it ends up going down pretty much just as easy as the castles went down. We do lose some troops at the very start, but we just move our infantry to the front, keep our archers in the back, and yeah, their archers just attack our infantry while our archers just pick apart their archers. Our archers do end up running out of arrows, so we do have to siege Bulgan twice to capture it, but we eventually do come back and retake it, and that's kind of where we're at now at our final stand. Oh, and also I haven't talked about the new legendary bow that Leanna gave us. Earlier, the first time we took over Bulgan, we gave it to Leanna, and I believe since she did not own a town, we got a ton of relation with her. And I believe it was at 97 that she ended up letting us undress her. At this point, we're able to take her legendary bow, which it's probably better on her. She's got like 500 plus archery. I don't know, this whole grinding power draw on our main character strat just didn't seem like it panned out to be worth. That's kind of why I've fast forwarded through a lot of the content, but yeah, I ended up using the bow, and we do end up giving her over the sunrise bow, which is not much worse. The only other real notable thing she has is her war horse. I think it's the best horse in the game, at least that I've seen, with the 94 charge. That's an insane amount of charge. Like, she could just mow over units with that. It's also extremely tanky and extremely quick with 48 speed for something that's that tanky. Using it on a horse archer is kind of wasting its stats though, like she's never really going to charge into enemies. But yeah, I've tried my best to get you guys up to speed, and now we're going to try to protect Bulgan, at least until Leanna decides that she's ready to leave. In Jahara, there's this option that pops up, manage your kingdom. I believe you get this when you own a town, and we can hire an advisor to assist in managing our kingdom. We're going to do the Perisno High Marshal, and it's going to cost us 20k. I'm not actually sure if that's a one-time 20k, or like if we lose the town, we're going to have to pay 20k again to hire him. Regardless though, this guy does give us the ability to hire some mercenaries. There's a bunch of mercenaries to choose from, and I did some testing, and I really like the female mercenary party. And being that this is going to be potentially our final stand, I did reload a few times to get a decent amount of these guys. We got a mid-roll in their best units, the Maidens of War, but then we got decent rolls on like the Sword Maidens, the Sharpshooters. We got a pretty low roll on the Viragos, a mid-roll on the Femme Fatales, and a pretty high roll on the Markswomen. We're now going to try to pull these guys back, and I'm not sure how these... Okay, well, that dude decided to chase the mercenary party. Pretty stupidly, we have 321 troops against their 12. We're just going to auto-calc this. Of course, we lose 6 units off of that. It's supposed to be one of those features that, you know, like, it saves you time, and it's a nice feature, but it's not. And okay, what is that guy doing? We have 304 against their 53. Even though they have 53 this time, we're going to lose less units than 6. We're going to put our cavalry to the left over there. And then we're gonna have our horse archers just kind of chill back. And like, this is not ideal. We don't have a great position right here. That person is trying to charge with their lance, but they're not gonna be able to. Let's get a, oh, thought I could get a nice shot off on that guy. Did headshot that guy's mount. And see if we can kill that guy. Yep, very nice. The point being though is that, yeah, we only lost 6 and they had 50 this time. We did fend off their attack. Now we're hoping that Jahara is going to head over to Bolgan and siege that, and then the goal here is we're going to save the princess, basically. It didn't happen. All that build up for nothing. So Jahara just ended up leaving, and partly that's due to the fact that they're now at war with the Hakan Empire. So they're now fighting each other, and it turns out that the Kula Horde declared war against us. The Soot Giants also declared war against us, and we're also at war with the Bakal Giants. And I think the reason why all these factions declared war against us is because our honor rating is low. We're at negative 21 honor because we did some bad things, like we raided some villages. And I feel like overall, all we've really accomplished here is we just made Hakan stronger. I did end up grinding 12 power draw, and like, yeah, we're actually doing some damage. We'll take this town Ulastai, which I think it had like 500 troops, and I'll just show you guys the power of the bow. The thing about our situation now though, and why I feel like it really hasn't been worth, is like most of our archers, like our really high tier archers, not these maiden sharpshooters that are part of the mercenary company, but like there's a lot of really good archers in this mod, and it doesn't really feel like I need to fulfill that role of being an archer. It feels like if I invested into, well, there's another build that is actually a lot more effective, I think, in the early game especially. Yeah, archery in this mod is not very effective in the early game, just because troops have so much armor and you're not gonna be able to pierce their armor that well with archery. But yeah, now we're actually doing good damage, like 94 damage. That wasn't even a headshot. That was to a regular archer though. That guy was pretty bad. But yeah, even though we are doing really good damage, like 54 damage, that's a really armored up troop. Yeah, it's a wind archer. 54 damage to the torso, so 2 shots for a wind archer, 1 shot for a lot of lower tier troops though. But even though we are doing good damage, it's like we have so many archers that are really high tier. They're all doing pretty similar damage to us, like not as much maybe, but they're doing fairly similar damage. And we also have our wife Leanna, who does have 12 power draw, and she could be using the bow just as well as we're using it. In my opinion, the best way to play Perisno, if you're trying to get a lot done really early on, is definitely not play as an archer, and that's kind of what we've determined here, I guess. But yeah, we eventually would take this out, and I really don't know where this whole thing's going. It just doesn't feel like I want to continue this because I have a way cooler idea for a playthrough. So yeah, I think this is where we're gonna end it. And yeah, with that, I guess thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.